All right, we're live, Akim.
Slocky is up there, you said?
No, it's not up there.
I can look it up. But what page?
You find the part.
Okay, so what's the name of the book?
Caucus, look up Jewish conversion. Chosen people from the Caucasus. I see where it says, just look up 740 AD, Khazarian Empire converted to Judaism. Look up Khazarian Empire converted to Judaism.
Oh, what's the name of the book?
Chosen people from the Caucasus. Okay. Testing. All right, Shalom Israel. I'm the I.S.U.P.K. coming at you live with the Lashawan Qadash class. I'm your host. Officer Aban. Okay, Ban Yehuda, Ban SHALAM, Officer at 50 here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We filling in for the great, excellent officer Marad. Okay, Officer Marad sadly couldn't come in and teach this excellent class he teaches. Okay, but I'll be taking over and I'll try to, teach the class with the same authority that he does. Okay. We're going to go over a few things. First, we're going to go into the history of the Assyrian script that you read, and many of the texts that you read in the ancient, or in the Hebrew, in the Assyrian Hebrew. Right? Many of you listening right now, many of you tuning in, many of you have seen Hebrew texts, right? Many of you have seen Hebrew Bibles. Many of you have seen what the white man calls Torahs. Okay, and you've seen in those texts, you've seen dots and lines and squiggles, dashes above and below the Assyrian script. You see, we have here on the left on our alphabet, that you have in a paper copy in your alphabet. What we're going to get into today is we're going to get into why you see those dots there. Okay, it's going to be a little bit of history into the Hebrew. Okay, into the Hebrew that the white man bastardized. Okay. Yeah. Okay, we're going to get into the nations, a few of the nations, and most likely, if there's any questions online pertaining to the Hebrew, type it in. Any questions pertaining to scriptures, type it in. Most likely, we'll answer. No, that's Amazon. Anyone can actually read this. I put that one. Okay. All right, Shalom, Akim Akwath. Yahweh Shalom, Shalom. Go ahead.
I'm some rest that we broadcast. You told me that.
Yeah, we're live right now.
Okay, so
we're live right now. All right. Yeshaya, went to your whole John 20:19.
Oh, God.
John 20:19.
Oh, God.
All right. As more people fill in, we'll begin the class in full steam. Okay. I'm going to get a few things. So Akim Akwath online. Hold on one second.
It's like, so you said John what?
John 20:19. You're going to hold it, okay?
No, God.
Bear with me 1 second, Akim Akwath online. Get a few things taken out of my folders. I can teach the class more efficiently. Yeshaya, you're going to get 2 chairs. You're going to set up the camera so that you can see me, but that you can see the board clearly. All right?
Oh, yes, sir. Hebrew class. Oh, yeah, dinner is Friday.
West Philly for life, 92. What's going on? I saw you, Kent. I saw you outside today. What's going on, bro? West Philly for life, 1992, man. Brother tunes in the class, okay? What can you say? All right. Again, as we fill in more, Shalom, Akim Akwath. We're going to go into, this is a Hebrew class. We're going to go into some of the nations in the Hebrew. We're going to go into a few words in the Hebrew that'll help you understand what you're reading. We're going to go into the history, some of the history of the bastardized Hebrew. We're going to go into the history of the Assyrian Hebrew and how it devolved into the nonsense that it is today, that the so-called white man reads today. Okay? We're going to read a sentence, and we're going to translate that sentence into the Hebrew. Also, Akim Akwath, if you have any questions pertaining to the Hebrew, preferably, type them in. Come. Any questions pertaining to the Hebrew, type them in. Any questions pertaining to any scriptures, type them in. Most High willing will answer them. with iron. Now, that's the wall right there. I'm putting it back in. Excellent. I'm just trying to straighten it out.
Go.
Okay.
Excellent.
Go.
Go ahead.
Is this YouTube or
On YouTube.
okay? That's the one.
Go. Go.
Wall.
Yeah.
All right, Megan Ward Dado, what's going on, sis? Shalom. Sean Cunningham, what's going on, bro? Shalom, all right? Akinakwa began to fill in, man. Thank the Most High for that, man. You know, brothers and sisters began to tune in, take back their culture, man, which is the Hebrew, the Lashawan Qadash. Okay? What we're going to do today, like we said, we're going to disprove some of the lies that have been pushed by the so-called white man. That lie being the modern Hebrew. Okay? If you're out here and you're pronouncing any Hebrew word with the letter E, you understand what I'm saying? You're pronouncing any Hebrew word with the letter V, with the letter U. You learn your Hebrew from the so-called white man, which is the devil, man. And that's not Hebrew when he's teaching you. The modern Hebrew is a mix of several different languages. We may get into it if we have time, most I willing. I'd like to go into more of the history of the Hebrew that the white man speaks today in order to disprove it, man, because many people that know the Israelites are saying that using the modern Hebrew, saying it's the Hebrew, when it's not the damn Hebrew.
That's right.
Most I said he's going to turn us to a pure language in Zechariah 3:1. Israel is not the pure language.
That's right.
Jehovah is not the pure language. We're going to prove that today. Okay? First, let me get John 20:19, Yeshaya.
Go, sir. John, chapter 19, verse 20.
John 20:19. 20 and 19. 20
Oh,
chapter,
slide.
19 verse.
Go.
All I cannot go out there and type in questions. Marcus, Marquise, and Mark. What's Philly for life? There is no word for Mark. Okay, Marcus. Marcus is the Latin. Marcus is the Latin. Marquise is the French version of the word Mark. That's why you type in the spirit. You typed all three of those together because all three of those mean the same thing: defense. Right. Okay. The word for Marcus is defense or Marcos in the Greek, in the Koine Greek and ancient Greek. In the Hebrew, the word for mark is mar wokwas. That's right. I'm going to have Trooper Yeshaya real quick. Trooper Yeshaya, because I remember this brother asked this question last week. Trooper Yeshaya, Cole, where you at? I'm going to have you go up to the board. You're going to write mark.
Go, sir.
Looks like an
Go.
Get you set up.
Go.
You're going to write mark.
Go.
Next to mark, you're going to write defense in quotes.
Go.
Then you're going to write mar wokwas. How's Rob? You hear me read?
Okay, brother. One line had a good question.
Go ahead.
Sean Cunningham question from teacher. When he translates scripture from the New Letter Bible to the ancient, how do I know when the letters connect together?
How do you know the letters connect together? Sean Cunningham, that's an excellent question. All right. What you need to do, Sean Cunningham, is like any language, you need to understand, once again, what you're reading. For example, if I see, okay. No, it's not it. Mar.
Oh, Mar. Oh,
slide. Okay. Sean Cunningham, we're going to write down an example for you, to show you how to know whether they connect or not. For time's sake, I'm going to give you this, Sean Cunningham. You need to once again email I.S.U.P.K. real leaders at I believe it's Gmail or Hotmail.com. I.S.U.P.K. real leaders at Hotmail.com. You need to request the Hebrew possessive adjectives. What you need to understand is that you need to understand the possessive adjectives or the suffixes that go at the end of the words. Like, for example, if I read the word shamya, anybody online, does anyone know what I just said when I said shamya? For time's sake, we'll get into it. Who knows shamya here? I just said shamya. What does that mean? Yeah, come on, if I could. My name? My name.
Oh,
yeah, my name. Shamya is my name. If you don't know, if you see that in the text, you see shamya, you see the shah, the ma, and then the yah, and you say Shemai, you'll think it's something else, and you won't really understand what you're reading. That's what Peter asked the Ethiopian eunuch, the brother Israelite. Understands thou what thou readest? You gotta understand what you're reading, man. Understands thou what thou readest? Remember that? It's an Acts. Eunuch. Remember the Ethiopian eunuch that was reading the scriptures? That Ethiopian eunuch was a brother Israelite. Okay? Yeah, come. The Ethiopian eunuch was an Israelite. As he was reading, because he was reading the scriptures and Peter broke it down to him, like, you understand what you're reading? I'm going to teach you the scriptures because you're an Israelite.
That's right.
Calling himself an Ethiopian.
Oh, he was calling himself an Ethiopian.
Yeah, that was all that was saying. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Ethiopian eunuch. Who else? Cornelius also. It's the same thing. Ethiopian eunuch was devout like Cornelius, but he just didn't understand certain things that Peter had to show him. Okay? Well, we need to understand what we are reading. Okay? If I see the Shah, the Ma, and the Yah, and I pronounce it Shemai, I'm not going to understand what that word's saying because that's not what that word's saying. You have to know that that word means is Shemai. It's like here, Shamya. Does everybody understand that? With the Yah at the end. How do we know that it's Shamya, not Shemai? The Yah at the end is a possessive adjective meaning mine. Now, it's not only a name, but we've given that name possession. Okay? Whereas if I connected it, like I said before, Shemai means here, listen. So you'll read a verse and you'll say, you'll think to yourself, it says here instead of my name. Why are we saying that? No, Marquas.
Oh, Quash. Quash. Okay, come on.
Marquas. We'll read and we'll think it says Shemai. Shemai means here, listen. When actually the word is saying Shamya, my name. So that's a long-winded way of saying, Sean Cunningham, you need to request the Hebrew possessive adjectives, and you need to ask for the articles. Okay? And if you need help with that, just ask, okay? Go ahead.
Or so, like you say, here, listen.
Right.
Or something like that, you know. It's the same thing, you know.
Right.
Hebrew and all the words is the same, course, you know, all together. It's all one.
Right. So, Marquas. Give him a hand.
Go.
Marquas. Wesley for Life, 1992. Marquas, right? Defense below. That word means defense. That's that's the name of one of the 12 disciples. One of Yahushua's early students in his school. You get my point? Which is still around alive today. Defense, CE.
CE, okay.
Yeah, defense. Okay, that's Marquas. Give him a few minutes to get that together. Oscar.
That's like you said, it's like John 20 and 19. What was the next precept? What was the precept for that you get ready to get into?
No, we're holding John 20:19.
Okay, I thought you had a precept for that.
No. No problem. Read John 20:19. Hold on one second. Let me give a little pretext. John 20:19 is one of the more thrown around and bastardized scriptures in the Bible. We know John 3:16, right? We know any scripture that says the blood of Jesus, right? We know what else do we know? We know Jews, there's neither Jew or Greek, right? We know a lot of scriptures that people throw around, all right, and toss and tread underfoot. Well, we don't understand in scripture, a very important scripture in the Bible that many heathens use to greet each other. When Arabs greet each other, chiefly when the Muslims greet each other, people online, what do Muslims say? What is a Muslim greeting? Bishaya.
So like it'd be like yeah, I forget. Oh yeah,
Ashkara.
Assalamu
Assalamu alaikum. Right? That's the Arabic for what we're about to read right now in this verse. The heathens say they have it. They say Assalamu alaikum, man. Peace be unto you. The Jewish man says Shalom whatever. Shalom. No, the Jewish man says Shalom Alaikum. Turn the camera back on me.
Shalom alaikum.
Yeah. Oh, Shalom Alaikum. That's what the so-called Shalom Alaikum.
Or they say Shema Israel.
Yeah, that's what the so-called Jewish man says. So that's another thrown around. This is another scripture that gets thrown around a lot. That gets trodden underfoot. We're going to break down exactly what was said here. We're going to find out what's the greeting. Is the greeting Assalamu alaikum? Shalom. Is you want class, sir? Is the greeting Assalamu alaikum? Is the greeting Shalom? Let's find out. Do we understand what we're reading? Let's find out. John 20:19.
John chapter 20, verse 19. Then the same day at evening, being the first day of the week, when the doors were shut, where the disciples were assembled, for the fear of the Jews, came Yahushua and stood in the midst and said unto them, peace be unto you.
He said what?
Peace be unto you.
He said what?
Peace be unto you.
Yahushua went in and he did say, peace be unto you. Now, what we didn't understand is what did he actually say? Because that text is written in what language? What language are we reading right now? Those of you online.
It's like,
Go ahead.
he said, peace be unto, they speak like Arabic.
No, what are we reading? What text is that written in? What language?
It's like English.
We're reading English. This is the King James Version. So we know he couldn't have said peace be unto you. Why? Because he didn't speak English. The English language wasn't around as we know it today. We know he wasn't speaking Arabic. Why? Because the Arabic language as we know it today wasn't around in that land. Meaning what? The Jews, the people he was speaking to, did not speak Arabic. We know that. Okay? He wasn't speaking Greek. Why? Because he was speaking to the Jews. That's who Yahushua went to. Paul was later sent to the Gentiles, the Israelites in speaking Greek. Israelites amongst the Greeks.
That's right.
Israelites amongst the other nations. But Yahushua was speaking to the Jews. What language did the Jews speak? Now, I'm no rocket scientist, right? You get my point?
Oh, okay.
I'm not Steve Jobs, but I can tell you this, that the Jews spoke Hebrew.
That's right.
That's simple, right? Something anyone knows. So what we need to understand is, what did he actually say? What is peace be unto you? Is it assalamu alaikum? Is it shalom alaikum? All the other nations have some sort of greeting based off this scripture. We're going to prove what he actually said in the Lashawan Qadash class.
That's right.
Okay. So first, Yeshai, you're gonna go up. And you're gonna write peace be unto you. You're gonna write peace be unto you.
And just write it out like you said, peace be unto you.
Right. Okay, Marquise is also Spanish. Okay, Spanish and French. West Philly for life. You get it. You get it. West Philly for life. It's something that is Marquise is the romantic version of the Roman version of the Greek Marcos. Spanish and French are both romantic languages. They both mean what? They both come out of Rome. They both come out of the so-called white man, the devil. Okay. And that's what this class is going to be about. This class is going to be about the destroying of the Roman language and the white man's language, man. That's what this class today is going to be about, pulling the history to prove the white man's language is nothing. It's garbage, man. The Lashawan Qadash is the pure language. Okay, peace be unto you. I like it a little bit more spaced out, but that's what he said. Don't worry about it now. That's what he said. So we need to understand is, do we understand what we are reading? Did he say shalom, assalamu alaikum? Did he say shalom, whatever? We're gonna get it right now. I want you to write shalom.
Oh, God.
No, I need space below that.
Oh, so, okay.
We use the whole board for this phrase. So shalom.
Shalom.
Write it big, large. Yahiza Yahweh, we're gonna get you in a second, all right? Yahiza Yahweh, we're gonna get you in a second. I got you. I totally understand. And then next to it, you're going to write al. It's like your aisle.
Okay, come.
Aisle. Come. Come. No, aisle. Aisle.
Oh, aisle. Okay, slack.
Aisle, come.
Come.
So what you're viewing, this may be hard for you to understand, what you're viewing on the board is not assalamu alaikum.
That's right.
It's not shalom alaikum, but that is what Yahushua literally said to his brothers, so-called black people, okay, or the Jews, which is what you are. You're so-called black man, or Israelite. You're so-called black Hispanic or Native American Indian. He said shalom alaikum, and you know we're about to prove it right now. You know we're going to prove he didn't say assalamu alaikum, based off of what these words mean. Okay? Should write down shalom. You need space. Oh, you need space. So erase that. I didn't ask you to write that.
Oh, slack.
Below shalom, you're going to write peace. And there, I'll come, you're going to write unto you.
Oh, gosh.
We're going to break it down. We're going to break down especially the last word piece by piece. So you can understand, reprove, that's what he said. I.S.U.P.K, y'all?
I see where the brothers get twisted up, because when you go to the blue letter and you enter in there, it gives you the Greek word. You understand what I'm saying?
For Mark?
Yes, not yet, through John 2019. Peace be unto you.
Yes, you can go ahead.
I see where the brother got twisted up, because when you hit that, it's in the Greek. You know, you go to interlinear on the blue letter Bible.
Yeah, what brother got twisted up by it?
Socket.
What brother got twisted up by it?
Remember the one he just asked when he, I think he was when he went to blue letter Bible.
Yeah, I don't think I was talking about, I don't think he was talking about the Greek.
Oh, good socket.
Yeah, I don't think he was talking about that. I think he was talking about the Hebrew.
Okay, but
Go ahead.
my point being is when you go to the Greek, it gives you a whole different, you know what I mean? You interlinear it, it gives you the Greek.
Because it's Greek, it's different language.
Right.
Come. Okay. All right. You're gonna below that. You're gonna write IL.
Right up on
On the left. You can put it on the left. We're gonna break this down slowly to prove it's not any kind of damn assalamu alaikum. Next to IL, you're gonna put unto. IL means unto. Okay? Unto or over. All right? When we analyze and we study that Greek text, in that verse, he said unto. Okay? The word isle is unto. Everyone understand that?
God.
Isle is unto. Then below that, you're going to write come, K-A-M. Come equals you. You're going to write you. Space, masculine, quote, in parentheses. No dash out. Take the dash out.
Oh, it's like
Parentheses, masculine, plural.
it's like, is it E-N?
I-N-E. Once again, brothers and sisters, type in any questions pertaining to the Hebrew, any scriptures you need broken down. What's I willing? No, parentheses afterwards are quotes.
Oh, slack.
Parentheses around the end. This is just one parenthesis. Sure. And then at the end, you're going to write plural. Plural. Below that, you're going to write plural.
Oh, sorry, below.
No, plural.
Oh, that's an L right there. So
Okay, make it an L, please. And then below that, you're going to write possessive adjective. Okay, Shalom, Cassandra Robinson. Hope that information you got the other week help. Cassandra Robinson, Shalom. Yakal Laha, Yakal Laha Quataza. Yakal Laha Quataza, Shalom says. Okay, Shalom, I.S.U.P.K, Virgin Islands. What's going on, bro? And then you're going to close the quotes. Not quotes, close the parentheses. Right there at the end. There you go. So you can close the whole, in case the whole thing in parentheses. There we go. Now that's it. You can take a seat off. All right. We're going to break this down slowly. Something, brothers, different brothers and sisters, those of you online, especially, Yakal, and those of you that have been exposed to the Yiddish or the modern Hebrew before, you know exactly what the Jewish man says about this. And those of you that were Muslims, you know what the Muslims say about this. They say, Assalamu alaikum. And they say, the Jewish man says, Shalom alaikum. We're going to go into later is why it's Shalom. It's always been shalom, and it's always going to be shalom. All right? We're going to analyze, and we're going to study what the dots and the dashes above the Assyrian script and many of the text we read. What does that mean? Okay? Now, read John 20:19 again. Slowly. Slowly. This needs to marinate. Go ahead.
John chapter 20, verse 19.
Go ahead.
Then the same day at evening, being the first day of the week,
Go ahead.
when the doors were shut,
Right.
where the disciples were assembled,
Go ahead.
for fear of the Jews, came Yahushua.
For fear of the what?
Fear of the
For
Jews.
fear of the Jews came Yahushua. Who did he come to? Read up a little bit. Where you were, a few words. His disciples.
Okay, where the disciples were assembled.
Where the who were assembled?
Where the disciples were mixed, and said unto.
Take your time.
I'm sorry, the small print is small. Disciples were.
John 19.
Where the disciples were assembled for fear of the Jews.
All right, Oscar, can you take over? Yeshai, can you turn the camera back to me, please? Oscar, take over John 20:19.
Start from top.
Yeah, start from the top slowly.
John chapter 20, verse 19.
Go ahead.
Then the same day at evening, being the first day of the week.
The what?
The first day of the week.
What's this damn nonsense about Yahushua or Jesus rising on Friday? You understand? Or it's like he rising on Friday. It's like a Sunday. Whatever the hell they say, man. Yahushua rose the day after the Sabbath. He had risen on the Sabbath day itself. Why? Because we're reading the first day of the week. And we're reading in this verse that on the first day of the week, he already rose. So what is this nonsense about him dying on so-called Sunday? And so-called Sunday being the first damn day of the week. What kind of nonsense is that? When it said at even of the first day, he was already up. What does that mean? At the even of the Shabbat or the Sabbath in the English. At the even, he had already rose. Meaning what? Yahushua rose on the Sabbath day, on the Shabbat, man. That's when Yahushua rose from the dead, man. That's when he was risen from the dead.
That's right.
There's no damn, I don't know what the hell Good Friday is. There's no damn he rose on Sunday either, man. He rose on the so-called Sabbath day, the Shabbat, or in between Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. That is when Yahushua actually rose, man. The Catholics are damn liars. Whoever came up with Easter is a damn lie. Why? Because he said in 3 days he'll rise. From Friday to Sunday. Is that 3 days? No. What the hell is a white man doing trying to open the Bible and understand it? What is a white man doing opening up the Hebrew and trying to read it? We're going to go into what he does when he tries to read it, which is bastardize it. Read this verse slowly so it marinates. Go ahead.
Being the first day of the week, when the doors were shut, where the disciples were assembled.
For the who?
Disciples were assembled.
Disciples were assembled. Who are the disciples? Stay on topic. Who are the disciples?
Mashiach's his brothers, I would say.
His what?
His brothers.
His sisters?
His brothers.
Give him a hand. These disciples were Yahushua's brothers, meaning what? They were males.
That's right.
You just saw we wrote masculine, plural, possessive adjective, right?
That's right.
We're proving it in the verse. Why? It's Shalom, I'll come. We're going to prove it. Just sit tight. We proved the come, the masculine possessive adjective. His disciples. These men were the 12, his brothers. Okay? So-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian men.
That's right.
Keep reading, Oscar Rob.
For fear of the Jews, came Jesus and stood in the midst.
So came Jesus, or Yahushua in the Hebrew. Go ahead.
And said unto them, peace be unto you.
What?
Peace be unto you.
Peace be unto the Arabs.
Peace be unto you.
Peace be unto the white man.
Peace be unto you.
Exactly. The first damn thing he didn't understand was that Yahushua, or Jesus, was only given peace to the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, which were his disciples.
That's right.
What is the damn Arab doing with Assalamu alaikum? What is the damn Jewish man doing with Shalom baby's rod? Bloody babies. You get my point? What is he doing with that nonsense? Yahushua was saying, peace be unto you, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. Peace we know is shalom. Okay? Isle is unto, and we had the comma at the end. Why? Because he was speaking to his brothers, a group of so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Indian men. Shalom al kam, or kam is a masculine plural possessive adjective. Now, he's not saying peace be unto everybody. He's not saying peace be unto all nations. He's saying peace be unto you, shalom al kam, or peace be over you, disciples, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Proving he's not all love, even in that verse itself, man. In one verse, John 20:19, in the salute that he gave, or the greeting he gave those brothers, shalom al kam. Go ahead, sis.
We're speaking now as like the Jewish wasn't black. There was black Jews.
Black
so those are the Jews that those Jews now they took our possession, right?
Exactly. We're gonna get into how the so-called white man converted into Judaism and why he's bastardized many of the texts with the dots. I'm sure you all have seen the dots, and you hear people pronounce Israel, and Jehovah, and Yahuwah. Yeah, Yeshua, all that is garbage and incorrect, and we're going to prove it. Okay? And for those of you, if you were saying that and you're listening to the class, you don't have to blame yourself anymore. You just didn't know. That's right. Now you're going to know. And you're going to know the history behind why you've been saying what you were saying. Go ahead, Oscar Rob.
Slakia. We are the Jews, sister. Exactly. And so are you. You're sitting with the Jews. Yeah. Like the bastards did. They stole our heritage. We are at a spiritual war.
Right.
You understand? This is incarnate. We're coming to take our history back.
It's exactly, and we're doing it right now.
That's right.
The Lashawan Qadash class. The white man, the so-called white man, is not a Jew, man.
That's right.
He says Jewish. This shirt is yellowish. Did you know that? Everybody online. My shirt is yellowish. It's pertaining to yellow. Yeah. Black is pertaining to yellow, meaning what? You can mix different colors, get yellow and get black. My shirt is yellowish. Is my shirt yellow? Hell no, and it's never going to be a damn yellow, man.
That's
my
right.
shirt has black letters and a white t-shirt. That's what it is, period. Right. To give you an example. The so-called white man calls himself a Jew. He reads our records, our history, right? He reads the Assyrian script, which partly came from us, right? But is he ever going to be a so-called black, Hispanic, Native Indian? Hell no. You understand what I'm saying? Is he ever going to suffer the things and go through the things that we go through in this life? No. Why? Because it was said about the so-called white man, he would have the fatness of the earth. The so-called Jewish man has the fatness of the earth. He's got the Middle East. He's got the sweetest part of the Middle East. Near the coast, near the Mediterranean. Man. You look at every destination spot, the so-called Jewish man's running that. Kicking out the native people. But I don't want to veer too far off topic. Yahushua gave peace to his people. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Matthew 1:21, he came to save his people. Shalom al kam. We just proved it, okay, in that verse. Sister, go ahead.
Yes, the other thing is that they took our possession due to our disobedience in that time.
And that time, not only that time, but to this very second, this very day. Because of our disobedience, the Most High puts a base nation above us to provoke us to jealousy. That's in Romans 12. He said, I'll provoke them I'll provoke them to jealousy by them that are no people. The white man is a no person, right? Even things we veer from because we think they're white are not white. Country and Western is not from the so-called white man. The way that the white man sings, when he sings country and Western, if you go back and listen to like any country and Western music, that's how the Gadites talk. The Gadites talk like that, and they made fun of the Gadites. Oh, they're running west. You understand what I'm saying? They're running upriver. The white man made fun of him, and then he sings his country Western like, You know what I mean? With that voice, that bad bass in his voice. The white man's got no bass in his voice. Why? Because he's a homosexual, bisexual, transsexual freak. You understand? He has no bass in his voice, man. He stole that from so-called Native American Indians, that country western, man. I can pull up a picture right now of so-called, I believe they're Tarahumara Indians. The so-called Tarahumara Indians in Mexico, man, with violins, square dancing. You wouldn't be able to tell the damn difference. Yeah. I'm not making this up. With exactly, with violin, and many of the Latin American countries, they got violins, fiddling. Where did that come from, man? The so-called white man is ain't no people. Country and western is not white. Bluegrass, all that bluegrass, all that other stuff, that's not from the so-called white man. No, all of that's from Gad and Isupk. Okay? What else? Jazz, classical music. Even classical music, Beethoven was a so-called Negro. Plays, Shakespeare is a so-called Negro. You understand? Pop music, Michael Jackson. The white man is an old people. He's provoked us to jealousy and emulation, man. That's right. I'm upset he's got our text, reading our text. He's ruling the earth based off of taking our culture, man. But let's not veer too far on topic. Shalom Alaikum, brothers and sisters online. You have that written down. Shalom Alaikum is what he said. It's not As-salamu Alaikum. Okay? It's not what else? It's not Shalom Ilkum or whatever the Jewish man says. Shalom Alaikum. That is the greeting he gave. All right? Yeshaya, point it back to the board real quick. Point the camera back to the board real quick. Akim Agwad, any questions? Questions pertaining to scriptures? Questions pertaining to the Hebrew? Type them in. No time will answer. Oh, yeah. And again, Yahiza's question about how do we connect the Hebrew and understand it. Once again, Yahiza, you didn't understand, like what you're seeing right now, see the come? If you would look at that in the text, in the original, in the Hebrew text, right? And you would read it, first of all, Yeshai, go up there and write it in the ancient Hebrew. Shalom Alaikum next to it. While the brother's writing it, Yahiza, I want you to look at it and read it and see if you could read it and understand it just based off looking at the Hebrew. Okay? What you need to understand is that's why I had Yeshaya write down the masculine, plural, possessive adjectives, Yahiza. You need to learn the possessive adjectives. You need to learn the definite articles like the, do, or, and, definitely, with. It's very pivotal that you learn those words so that when you read, you can understand how the words connect. That's as best as I can explain it to you. You just need to learn, continue to read, and get a deeper vocabulary. No shalom. I need shalom too.
Oh, shalom. Oh,
shalom. The whole thing.
Oh, count. Don't put it under or
put it above it. Count. Okay. Let me get some water on straw. Shalom Alaikum.
Water?
Come.
Oh, shit.
Exactly. That's excellent. All right, you're going to take a seat. Now we're going to switch gears real quick. We're going to switch gears real quick and go into a few of the nations in the Hebrew. With these nations, we're going to pull a few scriptures, maybe a few historical facts to prove these nations who they are. These nations are who we say they are. Yeshaya, you're going to go to Genesis, the 25th chapter. Give me the birth of the so-called white man, Esau. 25:25. Give me Genesis 25 and 24.
Genesis.
Like, so you want class? No. Go ahead.
Genesis chapter 25, verse 24.
Read.
And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled,
all right.
Behold, there were twins in her womb.
There were what?
There were twins in her womb.
All right, you put the book down real quick. I need you to erase what you got up here. When the days were to be fulfilled, there were twins in her womb. Brothers and sisters, we're about to go quickly through this. I'm sure you've heard this before. You can move on to other things, all right? We're going to get a few of the nations, and we're going to pull maybe a few precepts proving who they are, who we say they are. Okay. Right. You're gonna write first. You gotta write Israel on the left.
No, concept. Something like this, sir.
What?
Put the English,
I need Israel, then Prince of the Power,
concept.
then Yashar Allah in English, then below that you can write Yashar Allah in Hebrew.
Concept.
What you brothers and sisters need to understand is that there are races in the Bible. It's all over the Bible. We're going to prove that once again using the Hebrew, man. And we're going to get a very interesting fact that many of you may have overlooked. Okay, about the nations and about the races and about their names, man. About their names and how they apply today, and the gravity and the weight of knowing people's real origin in the Bible. You understand? Without it, you would be bamboozled into thinking that we all bleed red blood, which is philosophy. You would be bamboozled into thinking we all can be saved, which is philosophy. You understand that, right? You'd be bamboozled into thinking we can join hand in hand. If you would understand the names of races of people in the Bible, you would understand that there's no damn hand in hand.
That's
There's
right.
one people that were chosen, and everybody else is like some water you drop on the ground. Go ahead, Oscar.
Slock, I got a precept for how they stole our language and all our other stuff. So.
All right, quickly.
All right, it's in Book of the Apocrypha.
Okay.
First Maccabees, 3:48 to 55.
No, you gotta read one verse.
Okay. All right, one more step.
You get where they took our.
Okay, that's what I'm down here.
Do what? Read it when you get it. White man has no culture, man. Period. Period. Everything he gets, he's stolen. He's stolen from other races of people. Every holiday, everything, man. We're going to get is a very heavy precept in that how, again, it's the spirit. You understand? That was the most high right there. Why? Because we're about to go into just how the Greeks, the white man, the Romans, took the Hebrew and turned it into Yiddish. We're going to get that later in class. We got a precept for it right now. Read.
In the Book of the Apocrypha, First Maccabees, chapter 3, verse 48.
What?
And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen have sought to paint the likenesses of their images. Verse 49. They brought also the priest garments, and the first fruit, and the tithes, and the Nazarites. They stirred up, who had accomplished their days.
Exactly. They sought to paint the images, man. How do they paint the images? They painted Yahushua, turned him into a damn white man, gave him the character of Cesare Borgia.
That's right.
They painted, who else? They painted the 12 disciples who look like so-called white men, man. They painted Judith. You go and search Judith right now, you'll see some braless white woman. She's got no shirt on. I don't know why in the hell she has no shirt on. If you go look up Judith, it's some white woman with no shirt on. When Judith was a so-called, I believe she was a so-called black woman, or so-called Hispanic woman, one of the two. I believe she was from the tribe of Simeon, a so-called Dominican. Judith, okay? But nonetheless, she was an Israelite. She wasn't a damn white woman. It was Israel, Prince of the Power, Yashar Allah. Next, we're going to write Edom. Israel, of course, we know is so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians, largely here in America, but also scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Okay, that's the definition straight out of One West. Okay, Edom, red, R-E-D.
Oh, concept.
And the quotes.
Okay, come on.
You're gonna write Adawam in
Okay,
English.
come on, sir.
Adawam.
Come on, sir.
Adawam, not Idawam. Adawam. Sound it out.
Oh, yeah. Come.
No, Adawam.
Oh, you say I thought you said it sounded like I. You said so SHALAM.
I. You'll know when I say I.
Oh, so
I. That's an I.
Okay.
Is Adawam.
Okay, select.
Adawam. Now, can anyone online or in this classroom right now notice something very interesting about the names of these two races right here? What is flipped in this world today? What is said about these races? Right, Daniel 7:25. I believe Daniel, get Daniel 7:25 real quick from you, Ashkarah. GEN.YAHANNA, the water brother, for pulling another precept, proving what we're about to go into. How the white man took that Assyrian script you see on the left and turned it into a bunch of dots and squiggles, man. Turned it into Israel, when it's Yashar Allah.
That's right.
7:25.
Read it real quick, go ahead.
Daniel chapter 7, verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall swear out the saints of the Most High,
Go ahead.
and think to change time and law.
And do what?
Change time and
The
law.
white man changed times. We know that with the New Year's, right? We know that with the days, when the day starts, when the day ends. We know the day starts at sunset, right? And it ends at sunset. White man says it starts at day and midnight, when nothing's going on. We know the year starts in the spring, in around the springtime, March to April. The white man says that the daytime starts January 1st. We know that the time that the sun does move, it's like the earth does move, and in different areas of the earth, there are different times. The white man says there's something called daylight savings time. Quick history on that. Daylight savings time came from World War I. World War I, in French factories, they needed a way to make people work an extra hour so they could make more bombs. So what did they do? They came up with a method. They came up with daylight savings time so that factory workers could stay in the factories for another hour. That's where daylight savings comes from. French factory, it's like the French had to keep their factory workers in the factories longer. That's all it came from. It means absolutely nothing. How do we know that? Puerto Rico doesn't use daylight savings time.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? Daylight savings, you clocking an hour back does nothing. You understand? The sun sets at different times of the year. That's as far as it goes. The white man would seek to change times and laws. Let's get on that. How did the white man change laws? Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, they're called the prince of the power, Yashar Allah. Not niggers and spics. Not wetbacks. Not porch monkeys. You understand? Not Aunt Jemimas, whatever nonsense they're calling us. Okay, not apes. You understand? Prince of the power. The white man is called red. He changed laws. You being called Israel is a law. You understand that? Your name, he said, I called you Israel. The white man being called Edom is a law. It's written in the Old and New Testament. He changed laws. What did he do with the names? These two names, Israel and Edom, red and prince of the power. What did he do with those names that changed laws? Anybody online? Okay. Yeshaya?
He changed the well, we know he changed the nationality, like saying like Israel is African American or Edom is the.
He doesn't say Israel is African American, not explicitly.
I mean, not.
What is the white? What is? I just gave it to you. What does the so-called white man call himself today?
Oh, Caucasian.
No. Yeah. What else? I just said it.
Oh, white.
He calls himself the white man, right? He calls himself white. He changed times and laws. The law is, his name is red. That's the name of his race. But he calls himself
the white man.
He calls himself the damn white man.
That's right.
He would seek to change times and laws. This shirt is white. The white man is not white. The white man is pink.
That's right.
You understand? So you can understand. The white man's blood showing forth through his veins because he's the murderer on the earth.
That's right.
But he calls himself white. He would seek to change times and laws. Israel, right? Israel is known as the prince of the power. What does the white man call Israelites today?
Niggas.
More.
African American.
More.
Call them porch monkeys.
Porch monkeys, black people.
Black people.
Brown, right? Black and brown. That's what he calls us. He sought to change times and laws. The white man is the only race on the planet that is called a color. Did you know? Are you watching that right now?
No.
Turn the camera back on the damn board, man. Color. The white man's done a number. Look at the board. Israel is a prince of the power, not black and brown. Okay, though many of us are different shades. We encompass many different skin tones. Okay? Israel is not defined as a color. They're defined as a prince of the power. You understand what I'm saying? The white man is not white. He is the damn red man.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? The white man called the greatest race of people on the planet after a skin tone, largely. Meanwhile, the white man is the only race on the planet Earth that is called a color.
That's right.
The white man's like we're the prince of the power. The white man, the Chinese, is of his father. That name going back to the fact that he's a damn inbred Down syndrome. He's inherited Down syndrome. Ammon, Ibawan, meaning what? Tribal. Talking about him being inbred also. Ham has his name. The white man is the only race of people on the planet that are called the color. And what do they call the greatest race of people on the planet? Black people, black. Nigger, which is Latin for black. Brown. SKYPE. You understand? And they have all sorts of other bywords they use for the so-called Hispanics. But the white man is the only race that is called a color. Now that's heavy. Because he defines everyone else by skin color. The white man is the only man on the earth that is defined by his color. Read the scripture and prove it. Genesis 25 and 25. White man sought to change times and laws. Go ahead.
Genesis chapter 25, verse 25. And the first came out red all over, like a hairy garment.
Cassandra Robinson, love is aha. Aha. We're going to get that on the board next. Cassandra Robinson, love is aha. The first came out what?
And the first came out red all over, like a hairy garment.
The first came out red, all over like a hairy garment. When you read about the birth of every other race, the East Indians, the Africans, the Chinese, the Japanese, it didn't talk about their skin color. Why? Because they were different shades of brown like everyone else.
That's right.
They had some tone to their skin, if you will. When the white man came out, he was red all over like a hairy garment. The white man is the only race of people on the earth that is defined by skin color, by their tone. The white man is the only race whose birth is charted because of their skin tone. When you read about everyone else, it doesn't talk about their skin tone. Why? Because they were normal. They were different shades of brown, from very, very, very light brown to a charcoal black. But the white man groups every other race on the planet based on their skin color. When doing that, is white cult is only what the so-called white man does, and only the so-called white man was called after the color of his skin. You understand? In his birth, okay? But of course, so Edomites, so-called white people, had different shades also. But they came out red, all over like a hairy garment, right, sis?
But the white man was white due to the curse that he had done to his brother.
No, he was red. He was red because of the curse that he's done to his brother. He's red because the white man has the same spirit that Cain had.
That's right.
When the Most High said he put a mark on Cain, so that anyone that would see him would pass over him and not kill him, that mark was that skin color he had. How do you know that? Because when you read Genesis 25 and 25, it talks about a man that had red skin. He's the only man He's the only baby whose skin tone is explained like that. You understand? Why was that? Because that was something that was unique. He was outstanding. Someone with a mark, an obvious mark, would be outstanding, right? The white man is outstanding in that he has something that clearly defines him from every other race on the planet. That mark is that red skin or that pinkish skin tone the white man largely has, which is the blood showing forth through his veins, man. That's the trademark of the so-called white man. That's his person. Red all, you gotta understand, red all over. Imagine you're reddish man that you've ever seen. And hairy like a bear. You understand? White people, so-called white people don't shave, man. They don't get a little hair in their arms. I got a little hair in my arms. So you can barely see it. White man, when he gets hair, he gets a coat. Oh, man. You understand? Those Neanderthals are explaining where they're explaining because those Neanderthals are white people. So-called white people. Edomites, or the real red man.
That's right.
Native Indian man, you're not a red man.
That's right.
Native Indian woman, you're not a redskin.
That's right.
The white man's the damn redskin on the earth, man.
That's right.
The white man's the red man on the earth. He's the murderer, man, and he's red-handed. It's a sign, like a criminal has. You've been caught red-handed. The white man's red-handed to show the earth that he is the murderer. He's the man with the spirit of Cain. Ashra?
Precept.
Go ahead.
Romans 9:13.
Yeah, Jacob. Well, yeah, Jacob I love Esau I hated, but more on his skin tone. Let's get more nations. Moab. Oscar, give me Genesis 19 and 19. I need Genesis 19 and 19. Genesis the 19th chapter. I need you to find me where Moab is going. All right. Moab of his father.
That's my Wa'aba.
Right. I got it. I'm there, sir.
Read, Oscar up.
Genesis chapter 19, verse 37. And the first, stop it when we go above that.
Right. Hold on one second. West Philly for life. Yeah. For time's sake, we didn't get into it, but Esau's name was changed to Edom because he ate red pottage. Not only was his skin tone red, but he liked things that were a little underdone. He was a little underdone himself. That food was underdone because that food had blood in it. You understand? And that's where his name was changed from Esau, which is wasted away, to Edom. Edom being red. Because he ate the red pottage, man. And also his skin is red. His blood shows forth through his veins. Because he's red-handed on the earth. White man is red-handed on the earth. Who dropped the Moab bomb? Who dropped the atomic bomb of Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Let's keep going on the topic. Go ahead.
Come. Want to read?
Go ahead. Read.
When we start at 33. Right to the point. Okay. Genesis chapter 19, verse 37. And the firstborn bare a son, and called his name Moab.
For time's sake, in this story, Lot and his two daughters have left Sodom and Gomorrah, which was destroyed for their sexual deviancy. You've heard us talk about sexual deviancy the past few weeks, man. You can't be in there and be a damn sexual deviant. You can't be in there and be a damn child molester. You can't be in here requesting damn threesomes, man. You're not going to be in here and do that.
That's right.
You can't be in there and be a damn homosexual. You can't be in here and have a damn going feed for transsexuals, man. Stay in here, man. Struggle, overcome those things, man. Become a new man and new woman. Well, Lot had left Sodom and Gomorrah with his two daughters. They went into a cave. Lot's daughters weren't very bright. They thought in that cave that all humanity had perished. So in that cave, they got their father drunk. They had sex with him. The first that came out was called Moab. Mawa Abba in the Hebrew. Of his father.
Okay, of his father. Come on.
Mawa Abba or of his father. Now, Mawa Abba of his father. That of his father is talking about how he was born. He was born through incest. How do you know the so-called white man is born through incest? During the 1800s and earlier on in anthropology, the so-called white man came up with names for the people that are called today. We're called Mongolians. Okay, people in ancient times were called Mongolians, And the white man grouped these people based off of physical characteristics they had. And one of the physical characteristics that Mongolians have is their epically sized epicampal folds, or the flap, or the eyelids that the Chinese and Japanese have. Not only the eyelids, but their slanted forehead. Man. It's like they're straight forehead. I'm about to get it right now. I need you to write Ammon also.
Come,
Go to the board and write Ammon.
come, sir. That's I'm a one.
I am a one. You know the difference between I and
Come.
All right?
Oh, it's like, sir, I know if I could. I know all the names like that. Okay.
I'm one.
I mean, what's the parentheses?
Tribal.
Oh, tribal. Come.
There was 1 second. I am a one. Below that, you're going to write Ishmael. Go ahead.
Sister had a question of Cassandra Robinson.
Go ahead.
She wanted to know what is love in the Hebrew.
We got that.
Okay.
So Moab means of his father. Yah heard the Most High. Heard the power. Just type the right. Heard the power. Moab is of his father, man. And when you look up the word Mongolian idiocy, it will now take you to Down syndrome. The man that came up with the term Mongolian idiocy, which is a term used to define the peoples, chiefly the Chinese and Japanese, that word meant the same thing as Down syndrome today. The man that came up with the term, his last name was Down, which is why you know the syndrome that Japanese and Chinese people have as a race as Down syndrome, because the man that came up with it was Down. Well, he first coined the term, which is now Down syndrome, Mongolian idiocy, which was the phenomenon that he had noticed in that Mongolians or Chinese and Japanese people had slanted eyes. It was a stunted growth. What else? They had that straight forehead that they have, and that straight shaped head that the so-called Chinese and Japanese have. Well, all of those are from Down syndrome. And how is Down syndrome inherited? Through having sex with close relatives. The Chinese and Japanese are products of incest. They are Moab and they are Ammon. The Chinese are Moab, so-called Chinese are Moab. The so-called Japanese are Ammon. Okay? Turn the camera back up.
Come, sir.
Anytime, and you know they're produced from Down syndrome. A lot of us think that the Chinese and Japanese are smart. Well, anytime you have to you drive yourself to the point of suicide in training for school, you ain't that bright. You go look up right now the suicide rate in Singapore. It's astronomical. The suicide rate in South Korea is astronomical, because to get to that level that they get so-called Asians get to, they work themselves to suicide. Do you understand that? To simply sit down and do homework, it drives them to the point of suicide. They're not that intelligent.
That's right.
The Chinese and Japanese. Well, Down syndrome, a characteristic of Down syndrome is low intelligence. Why else do they have to study? They study the way that they do. There's damn training centers all around here for the so-called Chinese and so-called Japanese, because they're not that smart. That's why they train for school the vigor that they do, because they're not that intelligent. Go ahead.
It's like, if I may, Just like the DuPonts. He made that children's hospital because they try to keep the money and they had incest with their relatives and brothers and sisters. That's why the kids are over there. That's what made the children's hospital in Delaware.
Right. But the Chinese and Japanese as a race are not very intelligent. You understand? Chinese and Japanese as a race are inbred. And that we just proved that. The slanted eyes, we're going to get it right now. With Mongolian idiocy, we're going to jump to Down syndrome. All right? Signs and symptoms. Mental impairment, stunted growth, low muscle tone. The Japanese and Chinese, man, I don't know what's going on. They take all the damn protein they want. They naturally have a low muscle tone. Okay? Narrow root of mouth, flat head. Chinese and Japanese. Who else has the damn flat head they have? Flexible ligaments. Abnormal teeth. Slanted eyes. Shortened hands. Short neck. Okay? Flattened nose. Undescended testicles. Strabismus. Congenital heart disease. Okay? Short hands, short neck, slanted eyes, mental impairment. That's the so-called Chinese and Japanese. They're not that smart. That's why they have to work the way they do just to go to school in America. You go to public school in America like going to school today. They're killing themselves to go to school. Literally. The work they do is too much for them. Look up the suicide rate in South Korea, the suicide rate in Singapore, man. And you'll know that those people are mentally challenged as a race. All right, let's get the birth of, let me get, if I keep going. Turn the camera back to the board. All right, we're going to keep that up for a few more minutes. While we keep it up, we're going to break down for some of the tribes. I want you to, Yeshai, I want you to get the Zondervan's pictorial. You're going to look up Ammon, and you're going to look up the part that I highlighted. The part where it says they're a brutal and murderous people. We know who the Chinese are. Let's get who the Japanese are. Who are the Japanese, man? Who are they? The Japanese are the Ammonites, or Ammon in the Bible. All right? We're going to prove it. What?
It's not highlighted.
Oh,
It's just right. It's right there.
Well, underline it. Send it up. We're going to prove to you who the Japanese are. Okay? Yeah. They thrust out the right out of your best, so it's on the right. Top paragraph on the right. Underlined portion. So you're going to start from they, and you're going to read on down through the underlined portion. We're going to prove who the Ammonites are. Yeshaya, go.
They,
hold on, we're in Ammon in the Zondervan's Pictorial Bible Dictionary. We're going to prove who the Japanese are. Go ahead.
they were guilty of offering human sacrifices.
Of what?
Of human sacrifices.
Go ahead.
Because of their sins, and especially because they constantly opposed Israel.
No, you need to read up on that. I said first paragraph above. So they start from they.
Okay, it's like it. They threatened to thrust out the right eye all of Jabez Gilead.
Right.
They were given to brutish murder.
What?
They were given to brutish murder.
They were nice people.
They were given to brutish murder.
You know the Chinese are the Moabites. Moab, Mawa'aba. And there's another one, Ammon. He was also from incest, given to brutish murder. I said it's the so-called Japanese. You look up Unit 731, man. Unit 731 was a little place they were doing experiments on the so-called Chinese in. And you can just read about what they were doing to the so-called Chinese there. You can read about the Japanese Imperial Army during the rape of Nanjing. You look up what those Japanese soldiers did to the Chinese when they went into China. Look up what the Japanese soldiers did when they went to Australia. They were given to what?
They were given to brutish murder.
They were given to brutish murder, man. That is the Japanese. You look at the Japanese like they're quiet in America. They're just nodding their heads and smiling, showing their teeth. They are a group of murderers. They're like if anyone online seen the movie Michael Myers or Halloween,
Oh man.
the Japanese they're Michael Myers. They're retarded, but if you so much as like walk and breathe within like what 13 inches of them, they will murder you horribly.
Oh, God.
That's the so-called the Japanese are Michael Myers. They're retarded and they're getting to brutish murder. Look up Unit 731 if you don't believe me. Look up the war crimes of the Japanese Imperial Army if you don't believe me. That is the so-called Japanese man. And the Japanese is he's given to brutish murder, and he's born through incest, and he's retarded, for lack of better, for unpolitically correct terms. Okay? You're gonna erase what you got up there on the board. You're gonna stop from the top, erase slowly. You need to get going with this so I can get into the history of the modern Hebrew. Like you said.
It's like where you showed this.
Yeah, start with Israel and go slow. I'm assuming everybody has it up. Wait 1 second. I'm assuming everybody has it all written down. So we're going to erase it now, okay? Ready?
Oh, God.
Next up is Elam.
Oh, God, sir.
Slovakia, who are the Asians? Karanagai, the Asians, that is just a name that's talking about a people that live in a certain region. Asians has nothing to do with the Bible. I said Asians so that you would understand where those people live today. It's like saying, who are the Americans? It's like saying, who are the Africans? The Africans are made up of Slovakia. The Africans are Hamites. Which are made up of Foot, the North Africans, Canaan, the South Africans, and Cush, the East Africans. The Asians, Karanagai, are made up of, I think, all races of people. The white man lives in Asia, the Middle East. The Arab, or Ishmael, the Ishmaelite lives in Asia. The Chinese man lives in Asia, Moab. So-called Japanese live in Asia, Ammon. The so-called white man lives in Asia, Russia, Siberia. So who are the Asians? That's a very ambiguous, that's very general. You understand? The so-called Chinese are Moab. So-called Japanese are Ammon. Elam, are distant. In quotes, you're going to write distant. You're shy, write distant. In quotes.
Distant Caucasus.
Distant.
Distant Caucasus.
You understand that, right? Sister Alma?
It's like you want to write in the ancient English, I-1.
I-Elam.
I-Elam.
Same way you've been doing it the whole time.
Caucasus.
Of course, Ishmael is the Arabs. He heard the Most High power. I mean, what? Abraham had kicked that heathen woman out, the Egyptian woman Hagar out, so that the scripture could be fulfilled where it says, Salakia, and Isaac shall thy seed be called. Hagar was his wife, but she wasn't his woman. You get the point?
Okay.
Ishmael was his son, but he wasn't his son. Abraham had, I think, 6 or 7 other sons, but he had one son, Isaac. You get my point? Meaning what that covenant was passed on Isaac, passed on to Israel, so-called black Native Indians.
That's right.
Elam distant or I-Elam.
Oh, yeah.
I-Elam.
Okay, it's like
That's how you say you do that.
No.
I say you do the nation.
I do.
I know.
I hear you though.
I know. I-Elam. I should have to hear. I-Elam.
Yeah, Caucasus. You right, Caucasus. I-Elam. You right, Caucasus. No excuse, Caucasus.
Hidden or distant. Okay? It's prophetic in that from the so-called, you could say from the so-called Middle East, the East Indians live a good distance away, right? In ancient times, the Persians live a good distance away from Jerusalem. The Persians are, of course, the East Indians. East Indians or Elam today are the Iranian, the Iranians, the East Indians, I.S.U.P.K. The English is spelled wrong.
Okay.
I.S.U.P.K.
Oh yeah, you're right. Come, sir.
And there's no Y. I.S.U.P.K.
Come, sir.
Samoans are not Israelites. The Samoans are Japanites. Period. The Samoans are, or the native, all of the native Polynesians, and all of the native, all the native Polynesians, all the native Pacific Islanders are not Israelites. They are Japanites because of the history, because of how they got there, and they are not a part of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel by the prophecy of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. The Samoans are the Japanites or the Japhetic peoples. All right. I.S.U.P.K. means distant. All right. Next. Japhet or Yapah. To Charan the guy's question, Samoans are of Japhet. They're not of Israel. Japhet is expansion.
Go, sir.
Expanded, Swati.
Oh, expanded. Come.
Japhet, Karanagai, to your question, Japhet means expanded. So what had happened was the Japhetic peoples are the original inhabitants of Europe. The Japhetic peoples had been run out of Europe long before the Roman Empire took power. They had ran as far as Southeast Asia and as far as the Pacific Islands and like Ashraf said, Hawaii. That's where they had run to. It's prophetic. Why? The name Japhet or Yapah means expanded, meaning what? They would expand from where they were. They did it in Genesis 10. How? They originated in the Middle East and they began to expand into Russia. Or the people you knew in ancient times as the Scythians, or the original Russians. They began to expand into France. They began to expand into France. They were the tribe of Gomer. The Gomerites went to France. That's why in the scriptures where it talks about Gomer, it's talking about the so-called Frenchmen, the so-called white man, the people that live in the land of Gomer. The land of Gomer is France. You need to understand Japhet, and you need to understand who Japhet or where Japhet lived in ancient times to understand the prophecies about the white man. Like Gog and Magog, you would have no idea what that's talking about unless you knew where Gog and Magog settled. It talks about Gomer and all his bands. You wouldn't know who Gomer and all his bands are unless you know where the Gomerites went. The Gomerites went to Europe because Japhet is Yapah, or expanded. He expanded from the Middle East into Europe. He expanded from Europe into the Polynesian Islands. Samoans are not part of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel.
That's right.
Ham means hot or warm. But warm.
Warm.
Ham. Another odd name. They were just talking about it as a people that live where it's hot. And that's where the Hamites live. In places where it's generally warm or hot. Come. All right? And the Hamites, of course, we know in ancient times had lived up near the Israelites, but they had, of course, moved into North Africa, Canaanites, during the time of what was the empire of Carthage? Punic War? Carthaginians? The Carthaginians in ancient times. And then with Hannibal Barca. That's why Hannibal Barca, him and he himself is not an Israelite. Were there Israelites amongst that army? Yes. But was he himself an Israelite? No. The Carthaginians were Hamites or Africans. The Phoenicians were Canaan or Hamites. Okay? Ham means warm or calm. All right, I'm going to speed through these.
Okay.
Mizraim is next. Matazarium. Yes, Matazarium is a specific race or specific tribe of Africans. Matazarium is the forefather of the Philistines. The Philistines were Egyptians, which is why we had such a heated battle with them. You understand? Egyptians or Matazarium gave birth to Philistia. Philistia is the forefather of the Philistines.
Okay.
Philistia was a man who was the forefather of the Philistines. He came from Mitzrayim or Matazarian. The Philistines were Egyptians, man. Disgusting Egyptian, so-called. Okay? Once again, Matazarian, you got it? That means bondage. You know, bondage? Bondage. Matazarian. Matazarian became known as Egypt because it was a Greek term which meant bondage, Aegyptos. Right? The people that lived in Egypt were from Matazarian, right? Which means bondage. Matazarian. All right, next, Canaan.
Oh, God.
Hold 1 second. Next is Canaan, okay? Bear with me 1 second, I can go off here. Meaning merchant.
Merchant.
Yeah. Okay, you haven't been writing, you gotta write the English next to the water karak, Yahweh, you gotta write the
Select, sir.
you gotta write the English. You gotta like I.S.U.P.K. See how you wrote it out in English, how it sounds. You do that with each one.
Select,
So
select,
your
sir.
pa,
Select. Come,
You
sir.
rewrite your path
Come,
next to it, small, I guess, so we can fit. We can keep moving.
Come, sir.
Come,
Come, sir.
the water karak, Yahweh, the water out of one.
What?
Any questions, brothers and sisters, you have pertaining to the scriptures, pertaining to the Hebrew? Don't hesitate to ask. Most I won't answer. Okay, Mizraim or Matazarian, they gave birth to the Philistines or Philistia. Canaan gave birth to the so-called Phoenicians, the so-called Carthaginians. They're known as, that word means merchant, Kainan. Kainan means merchant. Who were the merchants in ancient times? Who ran Tyre and Zidon? Sean, how about you? Who were called who ruled Tyre and Zidon? Meaning what? Who were the people that inhabited Tyre and Zidon? You know, Tyre and Zidon in the scriptures were famous for their trade. Were cities famous for their trade. Those were two Canaanite cities. The word Canaan means merchant. Why? They would always be known for doing business, for being merchants or tradesmen. Meaning what? People that trade and did business. And that African that gives you your fake Rolex watches is largely a South African, a Tanzanian, Zimbabwean, so-called Ghanaian, so-called South African. Okay? Canaan meaning merchant, Ka'ina. That's incorrect. The Hebrew is incorrect.
You said Kana.
It's like a Kana'ain. It's Kana'ain.
Ain.
Kana'ain.
Oh, okay, come. Okay, come.
Kana'ain.
I got you. Come, I got you.
Canaan, Salakia. Kana'ain.
I got you. That's right.
Right. Next is Cush. Cush are the so-called Ethiopians and the so-called Somalians. It was prophesied thousands of years ago that there would be calamities or sore famine on the people of the East, upon Ethiopia. Now today, you look at the place where the largest humanitarian crisis since 1945 is happening. It's happening to the East Africans. It's happening to Cush. That was prophesied in the Bible. Cush is Kawash. Kawash. Go ahead.
Man, what's the print if I could?
The parentheses, the name. I'm gonna have to ask We have to wait to ask General Kabbalah about the name for Kush. Yeah, I couldn't find anything that was necessarily prophetic. I'm going to hold it. Hold it, of course, till I can get into contact with General Kabbalah. Of course, much more skilled in Hebrew than myself. So he would be able to break it down. Okay? Ashra, do you find a scripture about famine upon the Ethiopians? Write it up. It's like a kawash. Kawash is Kush.
Okay,
Kawash. Kawash. You had it right. The Hebrew was right. You have to write down the English.
Oh, right. Yeah, I was about to write it.
Kawash. Okay, Khan, 6 Shield General Kabbalah is in the chat. Okay. Kawash.
Ethiopians.
Put your point in between so what
Right.
sound it out. Watch.
Yeah, you can put make sure you can put the dashes in as much as you can. Kawada, Shasha Magun Allah Kabbalah. There's 6 Shield General Kabbalah in the English. All right, give him in the chat. Help me put it out. Okay. Kawash or Kush. All right. Kush, of course, is the East Africans, so-called Somalians, so-called Ethiopians. All right. Next is Put. Put. P-H-U-T. One second. I'm gonna hold off on that one also, the meaning of that one too. I'm gonna wait to add. Okay, calm is not warm, it's hot. So in calm, you're gonna change warm to hot. And ham. Where ham's at? Ham.
Oh, ham.
It's hot. Hot. Yes, it's not warm, it's hot. Slight correction.
It's
water. General Kabbalah. Hot. That's hot. Ham is hot. Calm. But I'm gonna hold off on what that means in English until I ask. I have idea, but I'm gonna wait. Pawat. For foot and for Kush. I'm gonna wait to get what that means.
Foot and Kush.
Pawat.
Foot and Kush, what does it mean?
Yeah, what that means in English. I believe I'm gonna hold off until I get it. Are you gonna look up famine? Let's look up famine on the land beyond the east. I'll look it.
It's in Ezekiel.
Ezekiel what?
29.
Ezekiel 29.
29.
Write it out. Write it out.
Oh, yes, right.
What?
I got it.
Good. You got a one?
Yeah, 29 and 3.
32.
Oh, 32. 29, 32 or 32?
29 and 32.
29 and 32. Go out. 29 and 32, I got it. Ciao. Make sure that's right. Is it 32? Yes, no, it's wrong.
Oh, 1 second.
Hold on. I just got it. 29 and it's not good. I figured I was wrong. I'm like, wait a minute, is that? No, it's not good.
Bear with me 1 second. The Put is Pawat. Put are the real North Africans. Okay? The real North Africans, not, Gaddafi. Put, Pawat. The real North Africans, okay? Ashra?
It's like when he set his face against Egypt.
No. Ethiopia.
That isn't, the North African.
Bear with me 1 second. All right. Never mind. For time's sake, it was said that there will be a famine in the land of the east. And that land, I believe the land of the Ethiopians, meaning in Ethiopia, that famine is prophesying the Bible. It's going on right now. That was the point of all that. All right, so we got everything up here. All right, Elam, Ayalam is distant. Japheth, Japheth expanded to prove what? The Samoans got to where they got to because they expanded from where they originally were. Ham, is hot. Israel, Matazarium, bondage. Canaan, Kainan, merchant. Cush, Kawash, Put, Pawat. All right, you're going to erase it from the top down slowly once again.
Oh, no.
Come on. All right, for Pawat, you can put bow. Next to Pawat, you're going to put bow in quotes. Pawat, general, 6 shield general Kabbalah. Answer my question for me quickly and efficiently. You give me a hand. Pawat is bow. That was actually Pawat being bow. Is it? Bow, B-O-W, okay, and the quotes. Pawat or bow, okay? But you can take a picture. Pawat, man, is bow. What we're doing is we're writing it, all of it out in the ancient Hebrew. Kawash is black. Kush, next to Kush, you're going to put black. The water 6 Shasha, Magun, Alawak. So like, yeah, kind of. Shasha, Magun, Alawak, Kobalman, the water. Kawash, black. Okay? And Put is bow. I'm going to give the brothers and sisters online a few seconds to get that written down. All right. Aisha, Kapatazah, Shalom. All right. Shalom, Muhammad, Shalom. Man, Shalom, Muhammad, man, you missed the beginning, man. Ready? We got into Shalom, I'll come. Shalom, I'll come is what Yahushua actually said. He didn't say Assalamu alaikum. He just broke that down earlier today. Right. Earlier in the class, we got the proof on what Yahushua actually said to his disciples. He said, Shalom, I'll come. I'll, unto, come, you all, masculine, plural possessive adjective. Shalom, I'll come, not Assalamu alaikum. It's a damn lie. Arabic is not the pure language.
That's right.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna say everybody's got it. So erase it from the top down slowly. You shy?
Come. Okay. Come. Yeah, of course, sir.
Well, that's it. That's it on the 18 nations. Get the Most High hand.
That's right.
On the 18 nations. That's it on the nations. Okay. 837 right now. 837. We're going to write a few words that are important so that you understand what you're reading. All right? And with a few of these words, we're going to pull scriptures, but a few of them are not for time's sake. All right? You can look up the scriptures for them on your own. For brothers and sisters online, another tool I recommend is called two-letter lookup. Two-letter lookup. It's a tool that you can use to look up ancient lexicons for Greek, Hebrew, Syrian, Aramaic, whatever. Okay, all your biblical stuff. I'm going to type it in the board, two-letter lookup. You can take a seat.
Come.
Kiana Brown, the Foothites are the real North Africans, the real Libyans. The word for foot is translated Libya in the English text. You'll read Libya, that is foot or Pawat. Pawat are the real North Africans. You understand? Not the people you see running around today. Those largely are Alexander the Greek's kids. You understand? They're largely Ptolemy's kids. Okay, those people running around today, many of them are French, are so-called white people. But nonetheless, those that are descended from real North Africans on the father's side are Foothites. The Foothites are the North Africans, to say it plainly. Okay? A two-letter lookup. Two-letter lookup is the source. You can type in your 2 letters here. We got Lab for heart. Laha or Lab. It's the noun, masculine noun, meaning it's a thing, which is the heart. Okay? The inner understanding, if you will, of the man, or the physical heart, the thing that pumps blood to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, not Moroccan.
Well, yeah, North African. So Libyans.
Moroccan.
Well, yeah, Libyans, Moroccans, all those people are Foothites.
Yeah, but they together. The Moroccans, they so-called claim they're Africans and not white people.
Right. That's why I said a lot of those people are white, are Edomites.
Yeah,
the people you see on TV.
They're not African.
Yeah, a lot of people you see on TV are white people. There's a difference. The people they show on TV. It's like a lot of people they show on TV aren't always the real locals. You get my point? Where are we going to next? Genesis 29:49. You gonna read it real quick?
What about the other scripture?
What other scripture? Ethiopians, I couldn't find it.
No, I'm saying, oh, you couldn't find that one? Okay.
Got a famine in the land. It's too wild though. But the Ethiopian famine and the famine that's going on today in Ethiopia and Yemen, all of that's in the Bible. Okay, so I need to come to class and learn.
That's right.
But
Come. Genesis chapter 24, verse 49.
go ahead.
And now, if ye will deal kindly and truly with my master, tell me. And if not, tell me, that I may turn to the right hand, or to the left.
Or what?
Or to the left.
Or to the left. Now you heard the word or, right? Maybe you don't understand what the word or actually means. The word or is talking about implication. It's implication, or it's choosing between two things that are really the same.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? It's a word that's used to be placed between two substitutes. Meaning what? Ice cream or cookies. They're both desserts, but you're choosing, will I have ice cream or will I have cookies? Both of them are desserts. The word or is placed there because you want one or the other. You want to have dessert, but you want to have ice cream or cookies. The word or is there because you're choosing between two things that you see as the same thing.
That's right.
If I said I want ice cream and cookies, you're saying that those two aren't the same thing. You're saying you want the ice cream and you want the cookies. You understand what I'm saying? To you, those things aren't the same.
Right.
Those two things. So in that sense, that's what the word or, a little breakdown of the word or and we're going to get or in the Bible. Genesis 25:49. We've got it here in the Assyrian script. And you, in the blue letter, you can click this little dash here, the check mark. You see that? To take off the Yiddish point, vowel points.
How did you do that?
Show vowel points. If you want to see the vowel points and be Jewish, you click the show vowel points. If you want to be in the truth, you click the vowel points off. So you can just read the damn Assyrian script. Like it's been written. Now with this, I can solely focus on what's actually written.
That's right.
This is show vowel points.
Okay.
The check. I'm going to click the check off so that I can read real Hebrew. With the vowel points, that is Roman. That is a white man's language. If I turn the vowel points off, it is the pure language just with Assyrian script. You understand? You shut the vowel points off so you can focus and understand what you're reading, and not say Israel, and not say Israel. It's right here.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't really learn. I think I just saw it one day.
Study that show thyself approved.
Right.
The brother studies.
So this is okay. Count the one. So this is the so-called Masoretic text of Genesis 24:49. We're gonna get to the point. All. Okay. Ya, Yamayah, or I'll, Yamayah. We know I'll means what online. Those of you online, you should know what I'll means. The word I'll is unto or over. I'll, Yamayah. The right hand. Unto the right hand. Unto the right hand, or unto Shama'al. I believe that's the left. Salakia. Right. Shama'al is the left. Brother Sean Cunningham, if you didn't know what you were reading, you didn't know the connectors, and you didn't know what this word was saying, you would say Shama'ala, which is not what that's saying. It's saying, if we read in English, it's saying unto the right hand, Al Yamayan, all Al Shama'al. So unto the right hand, or all, or unto the left. All, or. I mean what? He's giving an ultimatum here. You can go to the right, man, or you can go to the left. One or the other, man. It's the same thing. Just get away from me, is what Abraham was saying. Because Abraham, and I believe Abraham and Lot's cattle ranchers were having beef with each other. So the brothers had counsel, in the spirit of brother, in the spirit of Yahushua, which is what? Brotherhood.
That's right.
He said, man, you go to the right, I'll go to the left, man. It's just not having, I don't want any trouble here. And that's how Lot got to Sodom and Gomorrah. This story here. That's not the point. The point is that it was, we're analyzing the word or there, which is something that's very necessary. You would read the text, you'd read this, you wouldn't understand what the hell that's saying. We're going to get some of these smaller words so you can understand what you're reading. But
That's our.
all.
Our.
All. Awa. It's all. It's pronounced all. It connects.
That's all.
Yes. Come. A-W. That's how it connects. Yeah.
How?
It's all on the wall. All on the wall are connected. Like Isle is connected. It's not Isle. Ayin is in Iman.
Okay, so you said the A and what?
A in the wall. We'll write it. I write on. Right. All or.
You said for the word all.
All.
All. Okay.
It's how it's pronounced in Hebrew.
A-L-L?
A-W. All. Right there. Right good.
Or
A-H-W.
A-H. Like all.
Yeah.
All. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it does make that sound. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it does make that sound.
All or Allah.
All. That's it.
All.
All. And you're gonna write it out in the write down the ancient.
No, cousin.
Like the word.
Like or. Right. Or in quotes.
Or it's similar with the word raw.
Right.
Something like that.
Right. Shalaki. God, if I could. That's exactly it.
Almost call.
Right. Ah,
Not call.
and wa. Connect. That is or, and these words are small, but they're pivotal in you understanding and becoming fluent in reading this. Turn the camera to the screen so the brothers and sisters can see it. That's a little word, right? Just all. Those words are critical in understanding what you're reading. Okay? And then for sake of teaching, right? And. You know the word for and? I'm not going to tell you, just write it out.
You know it.
Any questions? Akina Aquas, please type them in. Any questions? Akina and Aquas, you can type them in.
No. Answer that.
Officer Arban, do you know how to do a screen share? So lock your side. If not, if I could I get your number so we can talk about it? General Kabal, if I could, you can text me your number or ask someone in the Philadelphia school for my number if I could. So lock it. Right, and when we use the word and, we're delineating between two different things. These things aren't the same instead of or. Okay? How do you know it's not the same thing? In analyzing this verse, or looking at this verse, we see that the brothers were saying that I may turn to the right hand or to the left. You can go to the right or you can go to the left. I don't care where you go, just get out of my face.
That's right, yeah.
Let's just not have this beef that we're having right now. Let's avoid this conflict, man, which is what Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians need to do more of. They need to read this scripture, man, and understand this, man. Instead of fighting over a block, they should say, okay, you got 44th Street, I got 18th Street. Man, you go to the right, I'll go to the left. You wear red, I wear blue. You go to the right, and I'll go to the left, brother. No problem. You understand? That's how beefs were worked out amongst our forefathers. Because we took what the so-called white man gave us, because we took what the Christian pastor had to teach, man. Now, instead of us just going to the right hand or to the left, we go to war and put each other in caskets, man, and rob each other and make our mothers cry, our fathers cry, man. Right, Asherah?
Sloppy, sure. You need brotherhood.
Right, it's exactly it, brother. That's what the spirit of this verse is. We're getting just a word out of it in the Hebrew so you can understand what you're reading. If I could, Asherah, you're going to write Ayin up there, I and then Ma. Ayin means with.
Done. Ayin.
Ayin, I-M, means with. Ayin.
Ayin.
Draw the I. Draw the I with the.
Oh, you want it in
Like the
Hebrew?
actual, no, just I with the English I.
Okay.
Uppercase I, so I can see it.
That's what he's doing English eye.
Yeah, because they're looking at it online.
Okay, come.
With, in quotes. With. Yeah. It's the same thing with that eye, too.
In Hebrew? Oh,
No,
okay.
I. So
Oh.
they can see, so they can clearly see
Oh,
it's
okay,
an eye.
come.
You understand? And then write it out in the ancient.
I'm
With connectors. You make the connector a little bit neater.
sloppy. Sloppy.
Hold on.
I
That's I'm or with. All right. Those are three small words that may be small, but they're pivotal because you say the word or, you say and you say with all the time, right? So in the Hebrew now, you're much more equipped to make sentences. These are small words, but these are words that you can use to make a ton of sentences with, literally. Even with you brothers and sisters online, with the amount of vocab you have already, or and with, you can go off with all these sentences you can make now. All right? Let's go into some next. Let's go into the origin of the modern Hebrew dots. When we just showed you, we're going to go into quick history. Quick history, could you turn the camera back on me, please? We're going to go into some quick history. Now, we just showed you here how you can take the Yiddish off, or the Roman script off. I'll just check the camera.
Yeah.
A little more. That's too long.
You turn the
Shy, you got it. I'll go back on. You got it.
down. Push it down.
No, you shy. You take it.
Come.
You got it. It's
Okay.
Yeah, come, sir.
Well,
Yeah, the bar, sir.
We read that the so-called white man sought to change times and laws. We see here, we see all these dots and dashes. People look at this and say the word and gather Israel, Yahweh from it.
Oh,
Without further ado, we're going to explain where this came from and explain how it's a damn lie. First thing you need to understand is that the vowel system that you see and read and love today is from the so-called white man.
That's right.
The modern use of vowels comes from the Greek and Roman empires, the Greek and Roman languages. All of the languages, many of the languages that our brothers and sisters speak today, which is what? English, Spanish, French, Dutch, Portuguese. Those are all Roman languages. So what are they all going to have in it? Vowels. What's another Roman language? Yiddish. Or the modern damn Hebrew, man.
Right.
These vowel points come from the idea these vowel points come from a system of vowels that was placed on Hebrew. In or around 740 AD, a tribe of so-called white people known as the Amalekites, or at that time known as the Khazarian Empire, which was run by Amalekites, chose to become Jewish, chose to take on the religion of loosely following our customs, which is roughly what Judaism is. They flipped a coin and chose it for political purposes because at that time that was the time of the second or third crusade. So they chose Judaism so they could trade with both Christian and Muslim armies. They chose Judaism, and through them choosing Judaism, they began to go into our records and bastardize our records. These people come out of the Roman Empire, they're so-called white people, right? We know from the Roman Empire that there was a vowel system placed. They took their vowel system they had from their Greek and Roman languages and applied it to the Lashawan, Qadash, or to the ancient Hebrew. In ancient Hebrew, when brothers would write the Assyrian, that's all you would see. If you go now to the Smithsonian, you go now to many ancient museums in the ancient history section, you look up ancient Hebrew scripts, you look at the Dead Sea Scrolls, this is all you're going to see. You're going to see the Assyrian with no dots. Why is that? Because we didn't use vowels, period. Real Hebrew is not spoken with vowels. A, E, O, and U, that is not in real Hebrew. That's right. Used as vowels. Everyone understand? The vowel system you see today, which was implanted in Hebrew in this form with these dots, comes from Greek and Roman languages, the so-called white man, the devil. We read it in Daniel 7:25, and he would seek to change times and laws. And he would seek to change times and laws. He changed laws. Why? Our language is a pure language, and he bastardized it by adding in vowels, which again we're going to harp on so much, come from the Greek and Roman languages, the modern system of vowels. Well, the so-called white man who came from the Roman Empire to make a language that he could understand, meaning what? To add vowels so that he could read our text, so he could read black people's texts. He added the dot system, or the dots and point system is what we'll call it in the English. Okay? And in this dots and point system, he now pronounces things with vowels that were never there and are not there. There is no Israel. There is no Jehovah or Yahweh. There is no Yehoshua. It's not there. You know how it's not there? Look, it just disappeared. Boom. It was never there. Go and look up the Dead Sea Scrolls. This is all you'll see, because there are no vowels in Hebrew. That's right. Everyone understand? Go ahead.
They add into the written system is to confuse us and to compromise for themselves.
The vowel system? Well, the vowel system they used, that they made up. They, I just explained, the white man invented the vowel system so that so he could pronounce our language with his tongue, which is vowels. Okay? Bear with me 1 second. That's a background of everything you're seeing and that you read. All right? Let me get some more on it. Let me get Daniel 7:25. Origin of modern Hebrew dots. In Hebrew orthography, nikud or nikud, dotting and pointing. So they added dots and points, is what they're saying. Is a system of diacritical signs used to represent vowels. I'll read that again. Is a system of diacritical signs used to represent vowels. Why are you representing something? You're representing something because you're not actually there. You may not actually be a part of it, but you're at the face of it. Well, they represented, this was representing vowels. In this case, they're representing something that was never there. It was used to represent vowels because vowels aren't there. All you have to do is go up and look up an ancient text of Hebrew. This is all that you'll see from the Assyrian, after the Assyrian period. Right? They added the dots, they added the gibberish so that they could represent our language with vowels. Okay? Or distinguish between alternative pronunciations of letters of the Hebrew alphabet. So they used it to represent vowels or to make alternative pronunciations. So it was shalom. Add some dots. Now it's shalom. You understand? It is Yahweh. Add some dots. Now it's Yahweh and Jehovah. It is Yahushai, which is Joshua in the Hebrew. Add some dots. It's Yehoshua or Yeshua. Yehoshua. Adding dots. There is no alternate pronunciation of the Hebrew. There is no representation of vowels because vowels are not there. That's just.
Isn't it Yahweh the pronunciation for healer?
No. Yahweh is the white man's way of saying the name of the living power, or Yahweh.
That's right.
Okay. He says Yahweh because when he reads Hebrew, he sees this. He sees that because he's the devil. That's right. When he's a devil because he's a liar. Because that was never there, this was there. Okay? And so with this, there are no vowels. The only reason he's pronouncing any Hebrew with vowels is because he's added dots to pronounce Hebrew with vowels because he wanted to. That is from the Roman Empire. The Romans came up with vowels. You can just go and look that up. Ashtaram?
So they can understand.
So they can understand and read.
All right.
Go ahead.
And not only that, it says, like you said, the Jewish, the Amalekites. And if they knew anything about the Bible, they wouldn't have had again heads covered.
Right. Several such diacritical systems were developed in the early Middle Ages. You had the Tiberian, which is a form of the Hebrew. You have the Tiberian, the Syrian, and it's like the Babylonian, the Syrian, and the Masoretic. The Masoretic is what you're seeing when you read a lot of the text. The text is not different. They added dots to it to make the pronunciation different. So during the early Middle Ages, what else happened? What happened during the early Middle Ages? We just said it. Oscar,
They changed.
they converted to Judaism during the early Middle Ages, during 740 AD. When they converted, they began to dig in and bastardize our texts and create diacritical systems to make up ways to pronounce the Hebrew, which is all it is if you're saying Israel, you're Yahweh. You're making up Hebrew. It's a system they made up during the early Middle Ages. Hebrew is older than the early Middle Ages. Why does it need to be changed? Because they added things that were never there. Vowels were never there. The dots were something added by so-called white people, by the Khazarian Empire, by Amalekites, the devil, so that they could pronounce Hebrew with vowels. Oscar, you hear that first?
Yes, sir. Salaki, not only that, there were no J's, no E's, no V's, no O's, no U's.
Right. J is a separate, J, of course, is a separate thing, of course. Khan, he added J's also, which aren't even in the English, not the Hebrew. Of course, they're not in the Hebrew. J's weren't even in the English until the 1700s.
God.
Sister, you had your hand up? Of course, of course. Let me get Daniel 7:25. Go ahead.
Daniel chapter 7, verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High.
Okay, so like it, which is the Masoretic script is from the Tiberians. The Tiberians were a group of so-called white people. Okay, and during the early Middle Ages, they had placed the Tiberian or the Masoretic text, the Tiberian Hebrew. The Tiberian Hebrew is just the dots that they added in vowels. When you look up any standard Hebrew text, those dots are Tiberian or Masoretic. The dots were never there. There are no vowels in Hebrew.
That's right.
There are only vowels in Hebrew because of what? Read Daniel 7:25.
And he shall speak great words against the Most High.
The Most High speaks a pure language, the Lashawan Qadash. He's speaking great words against him by saying his name is Yahweh. By saying his son's name is Yehoshua, it's Yahushua. But by saying it's Elohim and not Elohim. He's speaking great words against the Most High. Go ahead.
And shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
So we're out the blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians.
And shall wear
which are worn out. Go ahead, Yaquan. Like, sir.
Eternal, we say eternal, Elohim.
Right.
So they say.
Or out of 9. It's out of 1.
That's
okay. He wore out the saints of the Most High. Keep going. What did he chiefly do on this topic? Read.
And think to change times and law.
And what?
Times and law.
And what?
Times and law.
We know how he changed times, made January 1st the new year, when the New Year's in the spring. We know how he changed times. The day starts at midnight, which makes no damn sense. When the day starts when the sun sets. We know he changed times when he made daylight savings. Daylight savings was just made so he could make bombs for another hour in France during World War I. We know that he changed times with daylight savings and those things. He sought to change laws. The Lashawan Qadash is the holy tongue. It is our language. It is our culture. It's part of us being above every nation. The language that the angels speak, the Most High and the Malachiim, or the angels speak, which is the Lashawan Qadash. He changed that. He changed that law. He changed it by adding the vowels. It was said in Daniel thousands of years ago that there would be a man that would speak words against the Most High, that instead of Elohim, it will be Elohim. Instead of having sex with a woman, you can have sex with a man and it be an alternative lifestyle. Instead of what else? Salakia. Yeah. Instead of using food to eat, he goes and weed whacks it, puts gasoline in it, powders it up, and turns it into cocaine.
Oh man.
Instead of having your woman in righteousness, having more than one woman in righteousness, he decides to make prostitution rampant in the earth.
That's right.
You understand? Instead of having an army simply to protect yourselves from invasion, he uses an army to go and gobble up the earth, to go and destroy the earth, to go and oppress every race of people on the earth. There would be a man that would go out and seek to change times and laws. There would be a man that would go and change the day to midnight. There would be a man that would go and change the holy tongue into Tiberian damn Hebrew. There would be a man that would convert and take our customs and call it a damn religion, Judaism. It was prophesied in Daniel. Keep going.
And they shall be given into his hand.
And they shall be what?
given into his hand.
Blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians. Now we were given into his hand. Go ahead.
Until a time and times and the dividing of time.
Until what?
The time and times and the dividing of time.
He would be able to change times and laws. You'll be able to speak and say Allah instead of Elohim. You'll be able to take rap music and turn it into a damn abomination, which is damn near what it is now. You'll be able to take what is natural in a family and corrupt it. You'll be able to take something from the ground and turn it into a murder weapon. You'll be able to take the poor on the earth and oppress them for no apparent reason, man. You'll be able to do that. You'll be able to change times, change midnight. Make midnight the start of the day. He would be able to add to the Hebrew, call it Tiberian Hebrew. He would be able to add vowels to the Hebrew, which is the tongue of the Most High, Lashawan, Qadash. And he'll be able to hold blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians for a time and times and dividing the times. Well, because the blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians are beginning to understand the laws, because it was just explained to you, blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians, that this Assyrian, this script with these stupid dots here is the white man changing laws, changing the holy tongue of the Most High. Because he did that, because we did that today, the times and time and dividing of time is almost up. The laws are beginning to be reestablished that he changed. Okay? The blasphemies and the lies are beginning to be eradicated, to be torn down amongst blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians, and established, replaced with the truth. And with that, I pass the class over to the priest and officer, Oscar Abiyah.
You got to take that away. You got to put that in the Shema. It's in the Shema. Sorry.
Could you help go help find each other? It should be on try the table here, try the back there.
It's right here.
I've been going. Quickly.
It was in the way it's supposed to be. Where is it?
Can you get the one with the announcements?
No.
We are the I.S.U.P.K. Start out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rules for a new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which a brother and sister will court each other. After the 6 months period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21. Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 to 10 means tenth in the Hebrew. Ma'asherah, tenth of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give it to the teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for the priest. Not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like, upcoming holy convocations. Five. Memorial of the blowing of trumpets. First day of the 7th month, which this year falls on Wednesday, September the 20th. Leviticus. It's in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 24 and 25. Remind Akim and Akwafim, check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirts, pants, and headbands. With that being said, Amaja, stand, which means stand in Hebrew. Where's that at? It's not in yours. Okay.
Oh, cookout. On 1 second. Cookout tomorrow, August 5th. Starts at noon. Give the Most High a hand.
In Harlem, New York. Cookout tomorrow in Harlem, New York. Marcus Garvey Park. What's that? 12 sharp, 2 sharp.
12
okay. The school is providing transportation. We'll be leaving from where? Here.
Here at 11.
Here.
Get in contact with Captain Ty Ward. If you need to ride from Philadelphia. Captain Ty Ward. The bus will be leaving. The van will be leaving 41A Garrett Road at around 11 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Which is at the school.
Right.
All right. Men of Israel, I'd like to give one courtesy salute. Amaja Shabbat, Barak. Yasmata, Sar. We'll give one courtesy salute to the sisters. Stop. Maj Shabbat is hands held together, your feet at a 45-degree angle, with your head down. All right, and when we say Barak, you put your right hand to your chest. One courtesy for the sisters. Amajim. Amajim Shabbat.
It's Amajim Shabbat.
Amajim. Amajim Shabbat. Amajim. Barak. Yahweh Shemon Al-Taba Hashem Al-Shad. Select your sisters and brothers for the new officer alert. What we said is your job protect you, Most High protect you in the name of Jesus. Yahweh. Yahweh. Class dismissed.
What an argument I've got you for tuning in. Shalom. See you next time.